Hi everyone, I'm Stu.
I'm Sarah. Welcome back to the channel.
As we head in towards summer, what better time than to take a look around at some marsh birding? This video is in association with Central Counties Tourism. They represent the regions of Durham, York and Headwaters. You can check out their website. They have lots of articles on there with ideas for things to do if you're visiting those regions or if you're from those regions. We're in Headwaters today, but we'll tell you more specifically about the location after the intro. Hi everyone, welcome back. Sarah, where are we going to do some of this marsh birding this morning?
This morning we're starting at Island Lake Conservation Area in Orangeville.
Let's take a closer look at where that is.
The Headwaters region is to the northwest of Toronto, and Island Lake is one of the jewels of the area, found on the edge of Orangeville. You can rent canoes and kayaks to take out onto the large lake here, but we're here for the birds. We parked at the spot marked with a magenta "You Are Here" sign, but you should follow signs for parking P3. It gets you started out in the woods on the Vicky Barron Lakeside Trail, which is the longest trail and it traces around the edge of the lake and later over the top of it on some nice bridges.
During the summer, birding for perching birds can be a little bit difficult. As you can see behind us, the leaves are out in full, so that gives them a lot of cover to hide behind, and many of them are also breeding, so they'll be on their nests, they won't be singing as much, and they'll be staying hidden. So that's why it's a good time to come marsh birding. Some of those birds are a little bit less hidden, and Island Lake Conservation Area is a good location for that.
Island Lake Conservation Area is also a great place to start your birding. There's a lot of common species here, and most of them are hidden at this time of year too, but you do get some visibility of some common species like robins and yellow warblers, so it's a good place to start learning your bird identification.
We've seen a lot of American redstarts today as well, right Sarah?
Yeah.
The American redstart is a small warbler, black up top, white beneath with flashes of orange on the wing, or yellow on the females. But let's turn our attention to birds closer to the lake. We saw a couple of common loons out on the water today. The provincial bird of Ontario, no less. A little further out was one on a nest raising the next generation of loons. And a pretty cool flyby too. This pair of ospreys are very at home here. They specialise in eating fish. It's the only thing they eat unless they're desperate, so a large lake like this is a perfect home for them. They're not the only piscivore. This belted kingfisher has a fresh catch. Look for them perching near the edge of the water, waiting for an opportunity to hover and then dive below the surface. These bridge boardwalks are one of the highlights for visitors to Island Lake Conservation Area. They provide a great vantage point for views over the water. The lake itself is pretty gorgeous. It's around 400 acres in surface area and home to plenty of species, including the ones we've already shown, and others that you'll be familiar with, like this red-winged blackbird, various duck species too and herons, and Canada geese, of course. It's the time of year where the young are learning the ropes. A pair of Canada geese might have about 5 eggs per brood, but once they leave the nest, it's not unusual to see larger groups of juveniles hanging out together, where a more dominant, experienced adult, not necessarily the biological parent, takes over guardianship duties. It's safety in numbers and a birding creche dynamic that works well for them. Pretty as it is, let's step inland slightly from the lake and then onto the trail. It might be harder to spot some of the perching birds at this time of year, but they are still around. The red-eyed vireo can often be seen higher up in the canopy, but you might get lucky if one comes down lower. This bird can be heard singing all through late spring and into the summer months. Common yellowthroats and yellow warblers are a couple of other fun warblers that breed here, as well as the redstart from earlier. Watch out too for this cool masked looking bird, the cedar waxwing, with its high-pitched trilling call.
Okay guys, we have come on to a new location now. Sarah, where are we?
We are at Luther Marsh Wildlife Management Area.
This is a bit less manicured than Island Lake Conservation Area, and I mean that in a good way. More edge habitat, a little bit more wild. On our way in here, we actually saw a northern harrier flying in one of the fields just outside of Luther Marsh. That's a first one for the year, so let's take a look at that.
We've been tracking how many different birds we see through the year, so this northern harrier is new for 2026. We saw it slowly searching for rodents over agricultural fields just outside of Luther Marsh, and then a little later this male began flying straight up, performing a somersault and then dive bombing. This sky dance is a courtship display or sometimes a territorial display. Luther Marsh is a big place. The best place to park here is off Side Road 21 and 22 near the Luther Dam. There's another very small parking lot to the south that gives you views over a smaller body of water that you can also check out. Luther Lake itself is absolutely massive, nearly 3,500 acres. Home to loads of trumpeter swans, a species that was once threatened in Ontario, but that has now got a healthy population. Bring a pair of binoculars here to help you spot some of the more distant wildlife. Just beyond the dam, there's also miles of trail to explore. Depending on the time of year, you can find all kinds of birds, from the more common ones to others that are a little more seasonal, like the warbler species. And the marsh is home to more than just birds, from frogs, toads and turtles, damselflies and dragonflies like this American emerald, moths and butterflies and plenty more. There is one bird that we were hoping to see in this video, but so far we hadn't found it.
Well guys, before we wrap up this video, we've travelled a little bit further east into York region, just to show you guys that you don't have to travel too far to find marsh habitat. Where are we, Sarah?
So we're just in the town of Georgina, on the outskirts on a residential street, where there happens to be a little bit of wetland.
Yeah, we're going to see if we can find a bird called a soarer. That's a bird that we haven't seen this year, and regular viewers to the channel will know that we're logging how many birds we see over the course of the year, so that will be quite a nice add. It's a pretty secretive bird though, low to the ground. We'll see if we can find it.
Next up, as Sarah mentioned, we're at this small stretch of street next to a marsh just outside of Georgina. We had another osprey close encounter. A pair took turns to bring fish back to their platform nest, which did have a couple of chicks, not quite visible on camera, but we did see them pop up a couple of times. We walked up and down the stretch of marsh a few times, trying to find a soarer that another bird has said that they saw here yesterday. Lots of marsh wrens and swamp sparrows were singing, but no sign of any sneaky soarers.
Guys, unfortunately, no joy trying to find that soarer, but I'll tell you what, just so you know what we're talking about, we'll show you some footage of a soarer that we saw last year, just so you know what we're talking about. Pretty skunky bird.
The soarer is a secretive, plump little marsh bird that tends to forage at the edge of the water, but spends a lot of time hidden amongst the vegetation. While we didn't find one today, we will have to try again another time to get one for this year's 2026 bird count. They are around, you just have to have a bit of luck.
Okay guys, that's all we've got time for in this video, but we hope you enjoyed watching some of our marsh birding. Big thank you to Central Counties Tourism for supporting us with this video. Please hit the like button and please also leave us a comment.
If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe, and after subscribing, select the bell for notifications of new videos.
Big thank you as always to our members. Without your guys' support, it would be a lot harder to do this channel, so we really do appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you again soon. Happy birding, and bye for now.
Bye.